Good morning. Well, I was scrolling through YouTube the other day and I saw on the official CAF channel a video called Defense Team News, which is a series they do where they give some news and updates on the Canadian Armed Forces. And I thought, hey, I can do that. So here's some news updates on the Naval Reserve here in Winnipeg. I haven't decided what to call it yet. Maybe His Majesty's Canadian Ship Chippawa Crew News, or Ship's Company Report, or my favorite, Prairie Sailor Pepper Time. So let me know down in the comments below what you think would be a good name for a news segment on HMCS Chippawa Naval Reserve. So to start off, to put it into context, I'll just give you a little reminder on what our training calendar looks like for the Naval Reserve. We train from September until May on a part-time schedule, generally 1 or 2 evenings per week, and an average of 1 weekend per month. And then during the summer months, from May to the end of August, we shut down the unit. We don't do our part-time schedule anymore to allow for sailors to do full-time training courses, which often are done on the coast because we're in the Navy, but can be at training establishments across Canada. Also, I'd like to remind you that any full-time training or full-time employment with the Naval Reserve is voluntary. So if you're not doing Navy training, this is an opportunity for you to take some time away from the Navy, spend on your civilian career or with your family. You're not required to report for duty during the summer months in most Naval Reserve divisions. So as you may or may not know, both recruiters from HMCS Chippawa, myself and Master Sailor Cook, were tasked as basic military qualification instructors. So we were in Quebec teaching BMQ all summer. So it's always busy coming back in September after people being gone all summer to get back into the swing of the training routine. This year it was extra busy because we had a backlog of not being able to do any recruiting appointments for the whole summer because we were off teaching. So we hit the ground running in September as usual, and some of our annual training activities are taking place in the fall before it gets too cold. So we did our small boat training exercise where we work on domestic operations, preparing for flood response or other domestic operations, and small boat handling on fast-moving waters on the rivers. People from across Western Canada come in for this training exercise. It's a regional exercise that we host here in Winnipeg. That takes place in September. Then we do our range day, our small arms training update, where everyone gets updated on their range qualifications for the C7A2 service rifle, the C9 light machine gun, and the 9mm Sig Sauer pistol. So those both went well this year. I didn't make videos on those ones. I made a couple videos last year, which I'll put the link above. And I just got back from a busy summer, and there's some stories about videos that went on, so I just didn't feel like making videos, but we got some good ones from last year. For recruiting activities, we had an event at the University of Manitoba, the Agriculture, Science and Engineering Career Fair, which I made a video on. Post the link right here. You can check that out. And let's get into upcoming activities. This is supposed to be a news report. So this week, on Monday, I am a part of the flag party for the swearing in of a new Lieutenant Governor of Manitoba. The Honorable Janice Filman is retiring, and the Honorable Anita Neville will be sworn in, and I will be in my #1 dress uniform with the hoisting the Canadian flag as a part of the flag party for the ceremony. That's Monday afternoon. On Tuesday, we have the Skills Canada competition at the Red River College. So we will be having a recruiting team in conjunction with the Canadian Forces Recruiting Centre, the CFRC, having a booth at Red River College for the Skills Canada competition, where we're going to have an interactive display along with other trades and organizations that will be having displays at that event. Also on Tuesday, we will be conducting an enrollment ceremony. So we will be swearing in 3 new members as members of the Canadian Armed Forces Naval Reserve. So that's always exciting to look forward to. And it's a little bit of extra work because as me and Master Sailor Cook were gone all summer, we had a very brief overlap with our recruiting file administrator, Master Sailor Galicia, when we got home to kind of hand over everything that had been going on with processing files. And she is now on leadership training. She's doing her primary leadership qualification, which is a 7 or 8 week course. And she's off doing that training, so we don't have our file administrator. So me and Master Sailor Cook are taking over those responsibilities and getting that done. In addition, this week, I'm also the duty day staff, or DDS, so I am on duty, which means that I am responsible for security of HMCS Chippawa. I'm coming here before everyone else early in the morning, disabling the security system, the alarm, opening all the doors, turning all the lights on, opening up the building for everyone, and putting up the flag in the morning to get the day started, and then doing the reverse at the end of the day. So it's a busy week. Also on Wednesday, we have some force evaluations scheduled in the morning. I still personally conduct the physical fitness test for joining the Canadian Armed Forces, so we got a couple people coming in for that. We've got a pretty busy week as far as upcoming events go. So we have coming up Remembrance Day, or at the end of October here, so November's coming. So we have our Remembrance Day ceremony here at HMCS Chippawa, which is going to be filmed and live streamed by Shaw TV. So we have a professional camera crew coming in to film the Remembrance Day ceremony. So I'll be working with them to plan and set up all of our filming. We'll see, maybe I'll do a little behind the scenes video, but maybe I'll just leave it to them because I'm sure they'll do a great job. And also I will be performing with the band. So I'll be doing my ceremonial function as a musician, performing for Remembrance Day. In addition, I've also volunteered to participate in the Veterans Week Speakers Program, where I will be delivering a presentation at a high school. And also because I'm a trumpet player, I'll be playing the bugle for the last post and reveille as well. So I'll be doing a high school presentation. And this school is a French immersion school, so I will be doing my presentation bilingually, which adds to another current news for me personally. I'm currently studying French. I'm doing my French NP3, which is my level 3, because as a recruiter and working in public affairs, the Canadian Forces is a federal government organization, so it's supposed to be bilingual, so I'm working on it. Je suis maître de deuxième classe James Fraser. Je travaille à NCSM Chippawa, je demeure à Winnipeg, et je suis un musicien et un recruteur, etc., etc. I'm just a beginner, still working on it. So, we've got French class, duty day staff, Lieutenant Governor of Manitoba ceremony, Skills Canada, enrollment ceremony, force evaluations, a lot coming up this week. In the coming weeks, HMCS Chippawa Remembrance Day ceremony, Veterans Day speaker presentation. Oh yes, and of course, the Grey Cup. So this year the Grey Cup is in Regina, and HMCS Chippawa will be sending the dive team to augment HMCS Queen, which is the Naval Reserve Division in Regina, for their recruiting display at the Grey Cup. And the Winnipeg Blue Bombers are the best team in the CFL and have won the Grey Cup in the last 2 years in a row, and we're going for number 3 here this year. So hopefully the Bombers will win the playoff games and get to the Grey Cup, and we'll be able to support Winnipeg at the Grey Cup in Regina. So really looking forward to that. Just a couple more things here. So another ongoing project that I have is I'm a member of the Centennial Committee. 2023 is the 100th anniversary of the Naval Reserve and 100th anniversary of HMCS Chippawa. So we are planning a series of centennial events. One of the things that I'm working on is 100 Years of Service, a video documentary and virtual tour of the Naval Museum of Manitoba. So I'll be talking about the history of the Naval Reserve, the history of HMCS Chippawa, and featuring some of our museum displays, as well as inviting veterans and other former commanding officers, Naval Museum volunteers and staff to speak about their experiences in the Naval Reserve, and looking very much forward to this project. I'm super excited to put together a history of HMCS Chippawa, and that's a very exciting project to be working on. They recently put in this dog park right next to HMCS Chippawa. It's really nice, except that people use our parking lot all the time to take their dogs to the dog park here, but that's okay. We don't mind, it's nice to have the dogs next door. Anyway, last bit is another personal thing about myself, is that I'm going to be taking some trumpet lessons with one of our new members. We have a new member of the band, Paul Jeffrey, who joined last year, who's actually a member of the Winnipeg Symphony Orchestra. So we have one of the most professional trumpet players in the city, and probably the top tier in Canada, right here in our Naval Reserve band. And I'm working towards my next level of trumpet, which is required for my career progression. Which is funny when you're working in human resources as a hiring manager or as a recruiter, military career counselor. You know, I got to pass that test on trumpet to progress in my career. So I haven't worked on that for a while because I've been doing recruiting for about 6 years. But I got to focus on trumpet again in order to progress. And what better opportunity than having such an amazing, talented individual in the band to learn from. So I'm very excited to start taking some one-on-one trumpet lessons, to be playing with the band more this year, to focus on my career as a musician, so that I can progress in my training. So really looking forward to that. As you can see, we have a lot going on in the Naval Reserve. People ask me all the time, what do you do in the Navy in Winnipeg? And we do a lot. So we're keeping busy. We're always working towards the next project and the next event. So if you've applied to the Naval Reserve, you're wondering, why does it take so long? between appointments and trying to get your application processed. We are doing our best. We're working on it. We're keeping busy. We're working on those enrollment ceremonies. We're going to have another one in December, hopefully another 3 or 4 people, so we can have around 10 people for our January Mod 2, our part-time module of the basic military qualification we do here in Winnipeg. That's coming up soon, so we're working on it. Happy Halloween coming up in a couple of days here, and we'll catch you on the next one.